Hey everybody, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about how Final Fantasy XIV runs on the Macbook M1. As you can see here, this is just me walking around riding Sleipnir. I paid money for that, it was super worth it. This is in Alamigo. This is on high settings, which was the baseline settings for the Mac. As you can see here, I turned it up to maximum and it got to about 30 FPS, but honestly became super laggy and choppy, so I wasn't sure if it was really worth it. It probably isn't worth it to play it that high, and I wouldn't consider running any duties or trials at maximum. You can see here, there's just a bit of choppiness. This was me testing out the speed of loading, which it seems like it's quite fast. It's as fast as the PS5 version, but you can see that when I'm spinning the camera around, it's extremely laggy, and it drops even on very high settings on the Mac. It drops to about 16 FPS. On high, which is the default, it was about 22, which I felt was totally fine. Here again, this is me running, and then I was changing it around, and I think 35 FPS, I think that's fine. It's a super playable experience, and obviously the lower you go, the better it is, but this is me just floating around. I wanted to see what it looked like during the day on high settings. And on middle, it looked okay. It wasn't like, so I think I just reverted back to high and just kept it where it should be on default. As you can see, 55 FPS, that's pretty great. Coming from the PlayStation 4 and then obviously the PlayStation 5. Here I was just running some Assis and Holy just to see how it functioned in terms of one-on-one combat. It ran really smoothly. Holy takes up a lot of the screen in terms of 40 FPS, not bad. After this, I wanted to try out a trial, so I just went to Ifrit, nothing crazy. It looks amazing, honestly. Sorry for the noise. It looks great, and this is me awkwardly walking backwards. I haven't learned how to use the mouse backwards just yet, but you can see, all this stuff, all these major AoEs and large things are more or less unnoticeable in terms of quality. Nothing was really affected. And then here was the duty. This was Race Felger. Right before this was the Race Felger dungeon. And I was trying to really do stuff. You can see, there's no dropout really, and it runs pretty smoothly, honestly. And these fights were pretty involved in terms of how especially this Moogle fight. There's so much happening on the screen. There's me awkwardly walking backwards again. It really was great. There's so much happening on the screen right now, and I didn't notice any sort of stuttering or dragging. In this fight especially, he's flying onto the screen, and there's so much happening on there. So I'm really, really happy with how it's working out. I'm really glad I bought it for the Mac M1. I was really elated to see that it works for the Mac M1. So, I think if you're on the fence about buying it for the Mac M1 and you're thinking I can travel with this and you just got this, I super recommend it. Check out my Twitch, Marco Meatball. Thank you.